We said that people wouldn't be worried about the rain today for the St. Patrick's Day
I don't
parade
think that
celebrations.
at all. I think
No one
Sam
was worried.
proved that nobody was worried. Well, this morning it was wet and probably kind of nasty to be out there, but right now it actually kind of feels like Ireland.
Oh, it felt great this morning with the rain that
chilly,
was coming down.
It's rainy. Yeah, if you weren't in the rain, it didn't feel bad because the
no.
temperature started coming down. But now it's going to be pretty cold all weekend long. Last 2 days of winter, Saturday and Sunday. And then as spring begins, we could have our coldest morning. We'll look ahead to that in just a moment. As we've said, the rain is now long gone. We are drying out. One little light shower still kind of passing across parts of the metro area, but that is about it on radar right now. Not that we're done with the rainfall. For tonight we are, but may still see some lingering showers kind of passing at times. Not really lingering, but a few more showers during the day tomorrow. Not going to be nearly as extensive nor as heavy as what we saw today. Those brighter cloud tops associated with the heavy rainfall gone, but we are still very much under mostly cloudy skies. Not a pretty day, but as I said, maybe kind of put you in the mood for St. Patrick's Day because it's kind of what Ireland is like all the time. 58 degrees, winds brisk out of the north-northwest at 15 miles an hour and gusting higher than that. Today's high was only at 70 degrees. We didn't really see a very warm, humid air mass ahead of the front, which is why we didn't really see the instability. In other words, no severe weather, and thankfully that was the case. 70 was the high just after 9:10, and then temperatures started coming down. And when our climate data came out, the low was 60 degrees, but right now is the low. So the low for the day is wherever the temperature will be at 11:59 tonight, just before midnight. 50s now across most of the area, still hanging in the 60s, and very chilly temperatures across the entire region. Now, as I said, the temperatures earlier in the day really didn't get into that very warm and humid air mass, which would have really added to the instability and allowed for the development of severe weather. So thankfully, never saw that. It was really just heavy rainfall at times that moved on through. So in other words, fairly uneventful in terms of anything severe, but also got some much needed rain. Drier air is starting to move in, and winds are going to remain pretty brisk through the night and into the day tomorrow, really through the entire weekend. In fact, offshore, we will have a gale warning beginning later tonight. And even during the day tomorrow, winds sustained at around that 10 to 15 miles an hour, but gusting at times to up over 25 miles an hour. We still have this southwesterly flow aloft into the mid-levels of the atmosphere. What that does is it usually keeps us under mostly cloudy skies. And you do see some clearing off to our west. And I do think at times we will see some breaks of some sunshine during the weekend, but overall staying under mostly cloudy skies. This air mass that moves south, however, was potent, and it's going to stay in place through the weekend and early next week. The kind of most southern extent of some of that coldest air is settling in for Sunday morning and then again on Monday morning. And Monday morning may be our coldest morning. Look at the next couple of mornings. Tomorrow, we're in some upper 30s, generally 40s. As we head into Sunday morning, I think cold enough North Shore that we would see some patchy frost. Monday morning, we will actually have a light freeze on the North Shore with the potential within our viewing area of some spots getting into the 20s. So frost and freezing conditions are possible. Now, on record, the average last freeze at Slidell is March 3rd. However, the latest on record is April 9th. So we can still very much get into some cold snaps even going into early April. As a matter of fact, we can still get decent cold fronts into early May. So this may not be it for the cold weather, but certainly maybe one of the last kind of hurrahs of certainly the end of winter. So here's kind of the projection of temperatures for Sunday morning. The light blue is frost, the purple is a freeze. Not expecting too many locations to get at freezing, but maybe some widespread frost as we head into Sunday morning. And then by Monday morning, widespread frost and even more locations getting into that freezing range. Not a hard freeze and not a long duration, but a lot of folks have already started planting. May want to make sure that those are protected. We stay chilly into Monday, the first day of spring, quickly rebounding. We're right back into the 80s by Thursday.